Just that he's disgusting.
Hi,
Truly.
welcome to Healthcare Horrors. This one's about Teet Haerm. He was disgusting.
He's
The
disgusting.
end.
I mean, honestly.
Like, everyone has those early memories, like the earliest memory of their life, you know? That would just be like, yeah, I saw my dad, like, rip this lady apart, basically. I don't know.
I hope she's okay.
Healthcare Horrors.
Murder.
How do we do this?
Okay, well, I'll just say, welcome back to another episode of Healthcare Horrors. My name is Alicia Carasella, and I am now your Veteran Training and Development Specialist.
Hey, another title change.
Oh, look at you go.
Atlas must like you.
I can't make up my mind.
I am Ashley, a brand specialist.
And I'm Dolan on the knobs.
Knob guy. I've been waiting. We haven't recorded in so long. I've been waiting for Dolan on the knobs. Honestly, these are my favorite, though. I've really missed this, guys.
It's good to be here.
Rhubarb or rebar?
Rhubarb. I made some rhubarb crisp the other day. It was really good. With some ice cream.
Strawberries?
No strawberries.
Interesting.
Just rhubarb. It was super good.
Have you ever had rhubarb wine? It's honestly
That sounds awesome.
like a rhubarb strawberry wine, actually, is like really, really good.
I'd give it a go. I do like rhubarb. Last time we talked about Orville Lynn Majors. He was, of course, considered an angel of death, and he was a nurse in Indiana.
And this time we're going to talk about Dr. Teet Haerm.
Well, he wasn't a doctor.
Oh, well, everything I saw was that he's a doctor.
Well,
he goes by Dr. Teet Haerm.
Do pathologists still go by doctor? So I guess, yeah. He's just
think
not
so.
like a practitioner.
He's not like a family practitioner.
There you go.
So there's not a whole lot on his background, but he was born in 1953. I'm real sad I don't get to do his zodiac breakdown, but maybe we can just guess. And he was born in Stockholm, Sweden, and that's really all the internet has on Teet Haerm for his
That's
background.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, interesting stories about his past?
No, and nothing in Medical Monsters.
Yeah,
either.
I couldn't find anything in the book. Like I even tried doing some digging on the internet to find stuff about his past. All I really came across was that he is referred to as Jack the Ripper of Sweden. And as we dive into this, we, prostitutes and mutilation and stuff like that.
Some really gross stuff.
Yeah, there's some
here.
gnarly stuff that we're going to get into.
So if you have a sensitive stomach, turn this one off and move to the next one. But my guess is if you're listening to this podcast, then you're into it. So
yeah, I mean, and aside from when he was born, we do know that he does eventually get married to his sweetheart named Christine. But Christine does eventually commit suicide. Christine and Teet do have a daughter, and their daughter's 4 years old when her mom commits suicide. If you do any digging for him on the internet, there's a bunch of different ways to spell his last name as well. By the age of 31, he's pretty good at his job, and he's just known for the police pathologist stuff. He's really good at it. He publishes a bunch of medical journals, and he is a well-known speaker at forensic medicine conferences. He's considered to be one of the best in the field. Especially with the topics, I thought this was weird, with the topics of suicide by strangulation and methods of sexual psychopaths. Hashtag foreshadowing.
he really was interested.
Yeah. But before he was 31, I wish we knew where he went to school, how did he get into healthcare stuff, being a police pathologist.
Yeah, because a lot of the things that happened to them in their early life, especially their childhood, kind of paint the picture and kind of explain how these people got on this path. So this is kind of a mystery. Not kind of, but it is certainly a mystery.
Certainly is. By the early 1980s, there is an increase in prostitute deaths, and the authorities, of course, call Teet Haerm, their police pathologist, on the scene. So one of the first victims we will talk about is Katrine de Costa. In 1984, Teet views her body and tells the police that her killer was someone who's skilled in butchering animals. So that sends the police on a wild goose chase, and they just start questioning a bunch of butchers in the area, basically. Do you have any specifics on her death, really?
Only that he did it in front of his daughter when she was 5.
Yes. So 1 week after examining Katrine's body, Katrine or Katrina? I have Katrine.
I have Katrina, but potato.
Yes. 1 week later, Teet examines another body, Annika Moores. She's a 26-year-old prostitute. He tells authorities that the same person most likely killed Annika that killed Katrine, and that they are definitely skilled with a scalpel, maybe not necessarily a butcher, though. And there's a quote in the book about the scalpel thing that I'm going to read real quick. Teet said to authorities, "It is obvious that this man has a scalpel and knows how to use it. You don't find that kind of cutting edge on an ordinary knife. He knows precisely where all the internal organs are, which makes it easy for him to remove the heart, the liver, the kidneys, or the womb." So,
because, ironically, he's the same person who's conducting the post-mortem examinations on his own victims.
boom. Yes.
With his buddy. What's his name? Dr. Thomas Algren or Algren?
Algren.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I don't have too much on Thomas until a little later. That same year, August 1st, Christine Cravacci, 27-year-old prostitute, her body is found and examined. She was found naked and strangled in the red light district. So shortly after that, 5 more bodies just go missing. I guess they don't turn up yet. But it's the bodies of Lena Grans, Katz Falk, Lena Bofers, Lena Manson, and Lotta Svensson. Again, they're all just missing, not found yet. And they're not all prostitutes, but for the most part, a lot of his victims are prostitutes. And authorities are convinced that they all fell prey to the same killer. So before Lena Bofers goes missing, she does contact authorities about being able to identify the killer and tells them that there is a possibility of 2 killers, and then she just disappears. At this point, the public and authorities are outraged. They just can't figure out who's doing this. They question over 600 prostitutes and women in the area. A lot of them do come back with similar stories about a young, well-dressed man driving a white Volkswagen Rabbit. And one lady, after she was attacked by this man, she does get the license plate number. She gives the number to authorities, and they are able to tie it to Dr. Teet Haerm. So that was enough to bring him in for questioning. Which also leads to the police searching his home. Unfortunately, they don't find any evidence that ties him to any of the murders while they're searching his home. But what they do find is kind of disturbing. They find a photograph of his wife post-mortem with a noose still around her neck. So then they kind of question, did she commit suicide or did he kill her and make it look like a suicide? So again, no evidence found to link him to any of the murders, but he does get released from authorities and fired from his job. Police don't stop tailing him, though. They want to at least be able to prove that he is not guilty for sure. So I'm glad they don't just like let him walk out the door and just leave it at that.
Well, yeah, and they didn't find anything at his apartment because he never took them there.
Yeah. Maybe. I honestly don't know where the killings took place.
At the morgue.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
So he would convince, like, they would, like, cruise, like, the nightclubs and then convince them, oh, you come back to my apartment. And then
He takes them to the morgue.
He doesn't take them to his apartment. He takes them to the morgue.
Oh, well, that's a weird place to hook up, but whatever.
You know, some people are into it.
So sure enough, more bodies do start to turn up. Some of those bodies that I mentioned earlier. So March 1985, prostitutes Lena Grans and Katz Falk turn up mutilated in a submerged car at Hammarby Dock. January 7th, 1986. I could not pronounce this name. It's a Japanese student. I don't even want to try. Tazunga. Tazunga?
I could be totally wrong, but Tazunga.
I mean, that sounds good to me.
Okay.
Tazunga Toyonaga. Okay, maybe it's not that bad.
Good job. It's okay. I appreciate the consult.
So she is found dead in Denmark. So this is a completely new place, but because the mutilations match the other bodies, they think it's the same killer. So Teet Haerm is doing a really good job, obviously, at covering his tracks. However, October 1987, police finally catch a break. There is a kindergarten teacher who notices one of her students is showing signs of abuse. She talks to the student, and sure enough, this little girl is being sexually abused. So the teacher reports this to the authorities, and the father, Dr. Algren Thomas, is brought in for questioning. And not only does he admit to abusing his daughter, but he just comes clean about being involved with the murders in Stockholm. So maybe he just kind of panics and just comes clean. He tells authorities he's not alone, though. Teet Haerm would be the ones to trick the ladies into, I just have coming over. So they would take him to the morgue where Algren Thomas would be waiting. And then together they would overthrow the victim. Teet would usually strangle them. And together they would take advantage of the corpses and dismember them.
And do what else? They were eating them.
So, as a part of a druid ritual to assimilate the soul, Teet would also carve off some of their flesh and cook it and eat it. I didn't look more into the ritual though, so
that's okay. I didn't want to know. I just know that him and Thomas Algren were both eating some flesh off of these people.
So yes, there's a little bit of cannibalism going on here. See, I worded it as taking advantage of them, but if we want to just say necrophilia, I mean, we can just throw it out there.
Can't you get like a really bad disease from doing that?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure because I watched too many crime shows, and I think like someone was, doing that to a corpse, and like I think you get like
I would imagine
a disease that I think honestly might kill you. It's so gross to think about. I could throw up.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. We don't need to dive any further into that.
No.
So October 28th, 1987. Yeah, he's arrested. Also being charged with the murder of his wife because he had that photo. So for some reason, the public is split on whether or not Teet is really guilty. But Teet's 5-year-old daughter is used as a witness in court. And even though she's so young, she apparently witnessed Teet kill Katrine de Costa. And she demonstrates with a Barbie doll the decapitation and dismemberment of Katrine. That's kind of a weird, everyone has those early memories, the earliest memory of their life, you know?
Mhm.
That would just be like, yeah, I saw my dad like rip this lady apart, basically.
I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
I hope she had a good life.
I'm sure she went to a good home. Anyway.
God, I know, isn't that crazy? But like, if these serial killers and stuff, you know, like you commit a crime, but just to be so brazen as to do it in front of a child is really just like mind blowing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like kids talk and they don't stop talking. As the mother of an almost 4-year-old, they talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So nothing. There are no secrets.
September 16th, 1988, the jury does find Teet Haerm guilty. So this is kind of crazy. There's a twist. Unfortunately, before the judge confirms the verdict, the jurors gave information to the press about the trial, which led to High Court overturning the conviction, which led to a retrial, and Teet Haerm and Algren Thomas were acquitted of their charges and freed.
And their current whereabouts are unknown.
There's
I mean,
no
they're
way
probably dead, but
there's no way
might
they
not
didn't
be.
kill more, though, you know? So I feel like once you start killing like that, like, how do you...
they probably hid in the mountains somewhere and started doing it in a, community where, I don't know, or they went to a really big city or they just kept moving around. Really, I don't know.
Changing their name.
But like, I think it's insane. This is why it's so important to, follow instructions.
I don't understand how all their charges just get dropped. Like, there's evidence that you did this anyway. I don't know.
Maybe something in the press and the technicalities of it all.
Yeah. I mean, so obviously at this point, they're free. Their reputations are destroyed, but I feel like they would most likely keep killing people. Did you have anything else in your findings?
No, just that he's disgusting.
Hi,
Truly.
welcome to Healthcare Horrors. This one's about Teet Haerm. He was disgusting.
He's
the
disgusting.
end.
I mean, honestly. Well, it's just hard to, we get to speculate with all the other situations and cases that we kind of talk about because we have at least some background and some sort of, idea of where they came from and how they might have gotten here. Mm-hmm. But this honestly kind of reminds me of Dexter a little bit, because if you've ever watched the show Dexter, he's like he's their blood spatter analysis expert, and he's working with the police department, and these guys are working with the police department and doing these post-mortem examinations, and then all of a sudden, turns out that they're really the killers.
Yep.
It's just kind of wild. That's Dr. Teet Haerm. This is kind of an interesting case, so I'm surprised at the lack of information available, because even I went through someone's college presentation
PowerPoint
of this, and it has essentially the same information that we have, which is not a lot. So I don't know if there are any other podcasts with any information out there, but it's so hard to do when there's just not a lot of information. But
yeah,
that's Dr. Teet Haerm and Dr. Thomas Algren. I guess we can throw them in there.
Yeah. Let's try and end on a positive note. What's your guys' earliest childhood memories?
Earliest childhood memories?
Yeah. You just have those weird memories.
My dad definitely wasn't killing anybody in front of me.
Oh, that's good.
I thought you were going to really go off book here. I'm like, what did your dad do? Should you say it?
No. My dad's a good man. Earliest childhood memory. I remember being underneath a piano. I remember being so young that the keys of the piano was at eye level for me, and my great grandmother played the piano every time we had a family gathering. And so I remember her playing the piano, and then I remember kind of crawling under the piano next to her feet, and then listening to it. So that's probably one of my earliest memories.
See, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's cute.
What about you? Do you have anything? Can you think of anything?
Yeah, it's It's one of three things. These are all very. It's one of three things, and it's either when I tripped over my brother and broke my arm when I was 3.
No.
When he ran me over with his bike when I was 3, like just in the driveway, straight up ran me over, or when he chased me around the coffee table with a windshield wiper he found outside and knocked me down and I got stitches in my eye. So like it's one of those three things that are my first core memory, but all three for sure right around the same time frame. So hard to know which one came first.
My goodness. How
Older
old?
brother?
Oh yeah, only by a year and 2 days.
Oh yeah, I can relate to him. I used to torture my sisters.
Oh yeah. So it involved me getting extremely hurt.
See, I wish I had siblings to have stories like this.
Girl, let me tell you, it was painful.
Being beat with a windshield wiper.
You've never had to like get one candy bar and have to split it with your other 2 siblings.
And also how
true.
messy it is.
Right.
Okay, fair enough.
Trust me.
Or you've never had to be the older sibling and you're like, hey mom, can I go hang out with my friends? Bring your little brother with you. And you're like,
No.
oh.
No.
Yeah.
What's your first memory? One of them.
One of my earliest memories, I remember at like my old childhood house, we had a really big, cool back deck. And I remember sitting back there in my kiddie pool with my mom and my husky Duke.
Aw.
And Duke would always get in the pool with me and like lay down and just hang
He
out.
was hot. You have a husky now, don't you?
Yes, I've just grown up with huskies and
I want a husky really bad, but I really enjoy my dog. She's quiet. Like huskies really talk a lot.
yeah, they can be kind of chill. What kind of dog do you have now?
An Australian Shepherd.
Oh, well, then you still got the energy thing.
Oh, that's why I could handle a husky.
Yes.
I'm just used to the quiet. Like if my dog doesn't like wake me up in the morning. She doesn't like pester at me. She just kind of waits till I'm ready for the day.
Yeah, that's what
I need in my life.
That's how Lou is right now. My husky that I have now, she's pretty chill and aloof. We joke that she just, I don't know. She's not super social like Quinn, the boxer mix. But Duke, he was like black and white. He was a big boy and he had split eyes, so he had one brown eye, one blue eye.
That's cute.
He was really pretty. He was a great dog. And then we had Duchess. She was a red husky. She was the complete opposite and a terrible dog. Duke and Duchess.
I love it. You guys have such good like early memories. And I'm like, my brother beat me up.
Who are we talking about next?
We are going to talk about Donald Harvey.
Yes, he is a hospital orderly from the 1970s.
And so he was born right around the same time frame as Dr. Teet Haerm, who we just talked about before this. So,
oh yeah, look at that. We kind of do this where we get on like a pattern and we don't realize it. Kind of, sort of.
that happens.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens a lot.
Mhm.
But so don't do anything that Dr. Teet Haerm and Dr. Thomas Algren did, and just like don't kill people.
Or eat them.
For sure, please don't eat them.
Unless it's like a part of your culture and if you're like, you know, in a different country. I don't know.
It's taking it too far for me.
Dude, you never know. It could be
No, there
different
is.
tribes,
There is
cultures.
I feel like there's one
There's a
exception to
tribe.
this is if like you're on a mountain and the only thing you can do is like eat people who already died to survive. Like I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
There's a tribe in West India who believe that if you eat your father, your grandfather when they pass, that you, I don't know, honor their soul and then they live on through you and their family.
Yeah.
And so as soon as they pass, all the family just come around and they just have a feast
little
on
bit of a
grandpa.
feast.
Yeah, no, they're a wild. There's a couple of videos and people who have tried to go and interview some of them on YouTube, but they're like super dangerous and like
I believe that.
yeah, they don't really like outsiders.
Well, because
but
and there's like a couple of like civilizations like down in the Amazon who've never been modernized,
yes,
which
Yeah.
is just like so
Yeah.
wild.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just their way of life. It's their beliefs. It's interesting.
But for the most part,
God
no
bl-
cannibalism.
Yeah.
God bless
Cannibalism.
America.
All right. Tune in a few
right.
weeks and we will dive into Donald Harvey. Don't do anything that Teet Haerm has done. And goodbye. Thank you for listening to Healthcare Horrors, brought to you by Atlas MedStaff. Just a reminder, we are not healthcare professionals. We are just fans of true crime, talking about some of history's darkest moments in healthcare. Stay tuned, stay healthy, and stay safe.